Right, Groundhog Day, we're back here again. Hamish Carton reporting live on the 67 Hail Hail channel with his good pal John McGinley to talk about the rather shocking scoreline. It kind of takes a bit of getting used to, of Celtic 1, Sparta Prague 4. John, we've got good practice of doing these videos now. Another pretty sobering night for Neil Lennon and his players.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Back to square one. I think a lot of people in the sport were clinging on to the signs of progress against Lille and Aberdeen, and I was certainly amongst them. I like to look on the bright side of life, but that was as bad as we've seen all season, and there's just no getting around it. Our defending is just absolutely abysmal, Hamish. It's just shocking. I think we lost the 2 goals against Rangers, we lost 3 goals against Milan, 3 goals against Aberdeen, 2 goals against Lille from a strong position. And 4 goals tonight, and the defending is just so bad. But it's at the point now where I don't think you can even blame individuals, or Shane Duffy looks far from convincing. But it's not just about the defensive line; it's the whole team that just seem to lack effort when we're trying to defend against the counter attack. There's no structure of the team in the midfield. It's really bad.
It definitely is, yeah. I'm kind of struggling to put it into words, John, so I'll let Mr. Chris Sutton do that. He was very scathing, let's just say, in his post-match analysis on BT Sport. I thought they bottled it, chucked it. One of the most gutless displays I've ever seen from a Celtic team. Those are mega words.
They're big words, and Sutton likes a soundbite, and he likes his comments to go far and wide, but I'd be hard pressed to find a Celtic fan who disagrees with that tonight. In the wake of that game and that performance and what we saw on the pitch, there's just we're running out of excuses for this team right now. The players don't look up to it. Lennon again, just I don't know. There's something wrong with this team.
Can I let you in on a wee secret? We actually like to prepare for these videos, so I was writing down some notes earlier. After 20 minutes, I wrote down, Lennon looks far better on the touchline, much more comfortable. It was quickly scored out. I felt at the start of the game, the way we started the game and attacking wise, actually we started quite positively and we're moving the ball around well. But by the end of the game, he had chucked it. There was a still image going around of him and John Kennedy sitting in the dugout. They both just looked defeated. They didn't look like they had any answers there. Reminder, we're the pot 1 team in this group. Another reminder, Sparta Prague, I think we're missing 8 players tonight. They'd played two competitive games in a month.
Yeah. They've not played league football for over a month. Their first league match this weekend, because of the pandemic, the Czech authorities have let them start playing again. And we've been playing every few days, and we looked like the team that were lacking fitness and lacking match sharpness. I thought they were pretty good tonight. They were obviously clinical in the way they took their goals, but regardless of the quality of that side and what they are, it's just our performance that I'm so concerned with, because I just didn't see any positives tonight whatsoever. The only small silver lining I could think of was the way Lee Griffiths came into the game and for 15 minutes actually made us look like we were at some sort of threat against this team, and obviously took his goal off the rebound of Rogic's shot. But it's a small silver lining, Hamish, in the context of our Europa League campaign is effectively over, and the pressure is mounting again on the team and the management and the coaching staff, and people can shout and moan all they want and say what they like about Lennon and the players, but nothing's changing at Celtic anytime soon. These are problems that this group of people at Celtic, within Celtic, need to sort themselves, because I think the club have made quite clear from the kind of the way they've been dealing with the press over the last 2 weeks that Neil Lennon isn't going anywhere. So
I agree totally. I think it's almost futile to discuss whether Neil Lennon should go or not. It's pointless, because he is going to be staying. From the murmurings we've heard, the official stuff at the club as well, and we're not exactly ITK, but there's a feeling that Neil Lennon's going to be remaining. Kind of almost, it's not exactly whatever happens, he'll still be there, but it kind of feels as if a lot more would have to go wrong before the board even contemplated the suggestion of getting rid of Neil Lennon. tonight 4-1 at home to Sparta Prague, a team that, in all honesty, a team that we should be beating at home, a team that we should be, at the very least, going head to head with in Europe, and really the kind of European team, they're not from a top league that we should be really rivaling and being able to beat. You could say the same for Copenhagen, the exact same perhaps. They came to Parkhead 1-3-1. You could see the same for Cluj. They came to Parkhead 1, whatever the score was. Ferencvaros are a level below and beat us at Parkhead. These are black marks. And, occasionally you get these results that seem like, the kind of thing that we'll see managers have to move on and teams have to go and players have to go. I remember Molde beating us 3-1, I think it was, under Ronnie Dyler, and as much as he limped on for a little bit, he was always doing that. He would never recover from that. I just wonder if that was the kind of result we saw tonight. Losing 4-1 at home to a team who are missing 8 players. Even if that was a fully fit Sparta Prague team, last season we would have beaten them by a couple. They had a good striker who took his goals well, but I don't think they were anything special, and we've lost by a really shocking scoreline.
Yeah, it's pretty depressing, but I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. I know we have done that on the YouTube channel of late, and I think I'm past that point, Hamish. To be honest, I'm just pretty just upset with how everything's going. It's just so difficult at the moment, but I think that. I'm lost for words trying to think about where Celtic go from here, and that's the point I'm at, really. But I think you're right about Lennon. I don't think he's going anywhere, and so what does the club do, and what can we do as supporters watching this on? You can only kind of watch on the sidelines and keep your fingers crossed that everything doesn't unravel at Fir Park on Sunday. But at this point, I'm not going to be surprised with anything that happens at Celtic now. And people will point to the performances against Lille and against Aberdeen as the kind of green shoots of progress, even despite tonight's match. There'll be fans within the sport who are willing to forgive tonight, I think, because it's Europa League and they go on about how it's all about 10 in a row. But for me, it's not good enough for us to string together 2 or 3 decent performances against the likes of Aberdeen. We need to be shown consistency this season. And it's as simple as that. And we're just aren't. We don't look like there's going to be any sign of it.
Yeah, it's just I'm a bit like you. I've done what is it? The different stages of grief you go through. Is it like anger? There's bargaining. There's other ones. I kind of feel like I'm just at I always care, but I'm almost at the stage of like past caring. What's the point? Because I kind of feel like what's going to happen now? This is a team that is struggling badly. We've won one of our last 6 games. Like, when can you ever remember Celtic winning 1 in 6 games? I will go out on a limb and say I doubt it's ever happened in our lifetime. I mean, 1 win in 6. I know the opposition have been tough to a degree in this run, but games like tonight we should definitely be winning. It's just such a kick in the teeth because, as you say, the last couple of performances were really good, and even, as I say, the way we started tonight with that intensity in an attacking sense, I really thought we were going to turn up and we'd be doing another one of these videos and it'd be a positive one and we'd be looking forward to the weekend and thinking we've really got a chance here. But what does the result do? We're pretty much out of the Europa League. Maybe that's a positive right there for you, that we'll be out with 2 games to go and we won't have to worry about playing Thursday, Sunday. We can play a second string team in the Europa League and focus in the league, but I'm really clutching at straws there. We're out of the Europa League, and I suppose in such a big season when the league is a priority and everyone's transfixed on 10 in a row, Europe has been an unmitigated disaster for us this season all in.
Yeah, and that's something that, if Celtic are thinking about the long-term future of the club, that's something they'll certainly be looking at. People have the misconception that we budget for the Champions League, but it's not true. We actually budget for a certain amount of points in the Europa League group stages. And so if we don't reach that mark, there'll be serious questions for Lennon to answer to Lawwell, even though he is Lawwell's man. But that's for way down the line, I think. As we've noted, I don't think anything's changing in the short term. But it certainly won't go unnoticed by Celtic. And yeah, from the Champions League, the Ferencvaros match was just completely unacceptable. But in many ways, that was the worst performance tonight. I just thought we looked. I don't disagree with anything Chris Sutton said. I thought we looked just absolutely lost, and that's the most concerning thing. And people are comparing it to Tony Mowbray and all that, and that's maybe going a bit over the top in the wake of that. But I can see why people are saying it. It feels urgent now, and we just need to see what happens from here. I think we've talked about the worries of unravelling, and would anyone be surprised if it unravels from here? I wouldn't, and it's not nice for me to say that.
I mean, is it already unravelling? That's the question.
Well, no. People will say, we're still in touch in the league. We are still in touch in the league, and that's not me trying to apologise for the sins of Celtic this season. But all is not lost in the Scottish Premiership. If we can string together some good results in that competition, then we'll maybe feel the rest of it easier with what's happening. But the Sunday is just such a huge match again.
Neil Lennon said, I think about 10 days ago, that calls for him to be sacked were ridiculous. He didn't use that exact word, but that's effectively what he said. He said that if things did go awry in the next wee while, he would hold his hands up. I assume from that, he's effectively saying he would walk away from the club. Whether he would actually do that, I have real doubts. At what stage does it reach that point and we actually go, something is badly wrong here? Now, if things aren't badly wrong after winning one game in 6, then you're already asking big questions. We're 9 points behind Rangers in the league. We are in touch because we've got those games in hand. But at what stage does Neil Lennon or the board actually say, like, we're in trouble here, we need new management? In your opinion, when does that come? What would have to go wrong for that to happen?
I think we would have to be out of touch with Rangers. I think the club have put too much into the basket of 10 in a row. And we've discussed on the channel before who even comes in for Lennon. Like, it's just, it's not really about Lennon for me. It's just about we need something to change in the Celtic team. And I'm hoping that, it can be cobbled together by some of the players in that dressing room and that coaching staff. I was saying I don't think it has quite unravelled yet. I don't think we're at the end game, but we're really getting there, Hamish. We're getting there. So I'm not calling for Lennon to go. I'm not saying go away now, Lennon. I'm saying, this is an urgent situation, and unless things change drastically, if we only win one of our next 6, let's put it that way. If we only win one of our next 6, then it's game over.
Aye, it's game over in more ways than one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just struggling to get that point in my head over what way it's going to play out. Let's be honest, we're football fans are fickle, and we're probably two of the most fickle football fans. And I certainly, we sat and did a video after the Aberdeen game, and we were certainly, maybe didn't say it, but we were contemplating the fact that Neil Lennon's time was up at the club. We got a couple of positive results and suddenly things looked a lot rosier. We were certainly positive after the Aberdeen game. There was a feeling that the Celtic were back. It had been a blip, we'd come through that blip. Tonight then is just, as I say, another massive kick in the teeth. So are we almost kidding ourselves on saying this team can go on a run? Probably not, because they have done it in the past. But do things just reach that point of no return where something just happens that you don't come back from, and whether that be the players' trust in the management, whether that just be the manager's relationship with the support, which is at breaking point with the vast majority of fans, I would suggest, after tonight, or is it just Neil Lennon's ability and his kind of know-how and his ability? You can only rally the troops and criticise a few newspapers for their coverage a few times before to kind of almost deflect from your team's performance before people cotton on to that, and it's happened too often for me. I was all for Neil Lennon criticising the SNP, basically, wasn't it, for their approach to the Rangers thing at the weekend. I liked that because it was creating that siege mentality that he's done over his career. But then when you go out and play a team that's missing 8 players and lose 4-1, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. I just don't get it at all. There is a team that is badly struggling there.
And I was happy with the manager's press conference last week, answering his critics, because I do want to see him, if he's going to be the Celtic manager, then that's what you want to see. You want to see him defend himself. You want him to believe in himself, even if others don't. And he certainly seems to at the moment, or has done over the last few weeks. So, I mean, if he's staying there, that's fine. But is it a siege mentality, or is it just desperation? That's a question for our YouTube commenters.
And there's plenty of them. Sorry, I've actually not got you in too much during this video. I think I've just kind of wanted to vent some of my frustrations, and John's certainly been doing that in his usual way on the video as well. I think that'll probably do us, to be honest. I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to do a solo video looking at some sort of angle. It'll probably be a pretty negative one. Obviously, you can go on 67hailhail.com as well to get some further insight from John and the other writers on our team. Yeah, another dire night for Celtic. Our Europa League dreams seem to be over, and if we're not careful over the next few months, 10 in a row could be history as well. It's a horrible thought, but sadly that's the way things are heading at the moment. You know, we're on a bad road at the moment, and we need to get it off it and onto a better road. John McGinley, thank you very much.
Need a win on Sunday. Yeah, need a win on Sunday. That's what we need.
100%. It's an absolutely huge game, and going into the international break, it's probably even bigger. Great stuff. Thanks for watching this. I've been Hamish Carton, and we'll speak to you soon.